Jeff.
Well done.
Are you a cowboy?
Got my cowboy hat on and my boots.
Yeah. Oh, it happened. You're in.
I am. Red Dead.
The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old.
You are in Red Dead Redemption 2. It happened.
It did happen, finally. If anybody has been tuned into this show, it's because the Amazon order I had pre-ordered arrived a week late after launch, so...
Yeah. Now, I want to get into all of that, but there's 2 quick things we wanted to hit first. So first will be like, so I broke my vow to not purchase any games until I was done my backlog.
You know what? Yeah. Why'd you even make it?
Yeah.
You're breaking promises.
And it wasn't... It was a nostalgia play, but an interesting nostalgia play, where a Humble Bundle came up for a bunch of titles within the Warhammer universe.
Okay.
So it was like $4. And to think about this, it wasn't like I grew up on this game. Like this launched with the Xbox 360 when I used to have an Xbox 360.
Okay.
The Dark Ages, you see. Okay. Before I saw the light of the PS, I kid. All systems are great, but but I had a friend of mine worked at Relic, the company that output this particular title. This is like Warhammer 4000. I can't think of the full one, but it's an action game set in that universe, and it ended up being one of the first things I'd ever pre-ordered. This title, because I wanted to support my friend. Good friend, he did incredible work on it. I think a lot of the interface design and some of the other animation stuff was his. So I was super excited. So yeah, like I want to support him. So I pre-ordered this game, first one I ever got. It was great because the game turned out to be great. Excellent, I should say. It was an excellent title. Like you felt so heavy. Like you're this huge, if you've ever seen these like Warhammer guys, it's like these super heavy set, macho, massive metal things, right?
Yeah.
And they captured it exactly. Like you're running and it just feels like your screen is shaking with each step, like ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. And then you're firing guns and like they just make it so over the top. So it goes wow, wow. Like it was crazy. Like how like
nice.
Up to that point, I'd never felt anything so impactful and heavy as far as a character and their weapon set. So that's what pushed me to break my promise, where it's just
okay.
I would so love at some point to go through this game again. As penance, I should put on my backlog list, at the very least, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But to revisit that game, to the first thing I ever pre-ordered, the support of my friend. Like if I can get to the credits and I could take a photo of his name in the credits and send it to him, like, hey, I did it again.
Yeah.
I would just love it. So I imagine it's one of those hooks we're going to keep getting tested on as dads, where it's not only the games we grew up with, it's also games of our teenage years, of our young adult years. Like perhaps like 20 years from now, we'll want to repurchase things like Red Dead or something, because like
probably, come on, everything's being remastered, and I usually am a sucker for the remasters, so I totally see that happening. Yeah. Final Fantasy VII on
again
VR.
and again and again.
Yep.
But speaking of titles that continually get launched, one of the experiences you and I both went through was the recent launch of Tetris for VR, specifically the PSVR. What exactly is the title? I'm blanking.
The Tetris Effect.
Tetris Effect, right. Describing what it's like when you put it down, go to sleep, and you're still puzzle solving.
Yeah, you're still like arranging things and compartmentalizing things. And
What did you think of it?
I quite enjoyed it. I thought it would be this trippy mess where I couldn't stand it for more than 5 minutes with like lights and colors and sounds. But I was in the zone. It like made me get in the zone, and how the beats and the soundtrack goes with visuals, and everything starts to move and evolve over time as you get closer to, I think it was like a line attack mode or something, as you get closer to the 30 lines you're supposed to make. And just, but I will say it's not for the faint of heart. Like everything in this game is moving at all times. So if you have trouble focusing on regular Tetris, this might not be the one for you. It's a lot at once.
Yeah. So it's funny that you mentioned zone too, because I found that as well, which seems like it would be, that's counterintuitive because it's this 360 visceral experience. You're right in it, but somehow you can get into this flow state with these blocks coming down, and the music is just pumping. Like you got this like beats going, like tribal beats in the background. You got whales and fire and like sparks and data
Everything,
flying.
yeah,
Like
the earth coming through and like it was a lot, a visual treat to say the least.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to just play Tetris. I want to experience Tetris.
Yes.
Like it was trippy is an understatement of what it was like. I mean, if you're on anything and you decide to put on this on, it might be too much.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's a weird split of your attention too, because you have these gorgeous, crazy visuals going on around the playboard, but of course you're trying to focus on the drops, right? You're trying to focus on the blocks coming. So you want to see things, but like I want to kind of keep doing Tetris.
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, I even had the kids try it out too, just for like a minute or so, because it's a little bit too much, and they were just blown away at what was happening. They actually like the visuals more than they can't really do Tetris yet. I think my oldest one can, but not my youngest. And they just looked at the visuals and looked all around, and they loved the music. It was the music that got them.
Nice. So how'd you make that work? Were you the one controlling the blocks falling, and they just got to experience the?
Yeah. So they like would sit on my lap, and I just have the controller in front of them, so the camera wouldn't be too wonky for them. And then I just zip through the blocks, so they could see the visuals form out and like evolve with the scene. So they were looking all around. I'm like, you can't look behind you. I'm right here.
Yo, looking forward. I gotta do this.
I have to see. I have to beat it.
Oh man. So now, would you purchase it? Would be the question.
I think I will at some point. I think Canadian price, it's at $40 right now, which isn't too bad, I guess. But I'm used to paying for like a Tetris game maybe $14 to $19, just considering what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to discourage the work that's gone into this thing, because somebody had to work on it and make it this great. But I think it's a little out of my price range for that. But I might wait for a sale and pick it up.
Yeah, but I'd encourage anyone. So the demo I think was only this weekend. But
yes,
I would imagine they're probably going to release some other ones. So if any dads out there with the PSVR sets, if you didn't try, keep an eye out for it. You have to at least try it. Even if Tetris isn't like, I don't consider myself much of a Tetris fan, but even still, like it was such a ride. I was so happy that I downloaded and played it. That was so cool. But speaking of riding.
Good. That's
right?
Nice.
This is amazing. This is like a Tetris style flow state. We're just transitioning left and right.
I love it. You're
riding horses. You did it. I
am. Yes.
It arrived. Oh. So what is your Cowboy experience? Like, I want to know. What is this like?
Okay.
You've wanted this title for so long.
Well, it's been at least, a year and a half, I think. So at least a year and a half. I played the original, and I will say that nothing spoilery around anything, and I'm not that far into the game being a dad.
I was gonna say there's no way I don't think you're far enough to even worry about that yet.
No, I think I'm clocking in at 10%, maybe 11%.
That's kind of impressive on dad time.
I got a fair taste, I think. It's not all of the game, obviously, but yeah. So yeah, I'm out there, man. And from a dad perspective, from a dad gaming perspective, this thing's a long game.
It's a lot of games.
Reviews will say that it's a long game, but even the act of everything is long in this game.
The act of everything is long.
Okay, so yeah, as an example, you have to eat. You yourself have to eat. So it's almost like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, where you could eat and pump iron and get your character physically different and bigger. This one you have to eat to survive.
There's hunger.
It's not so your health depletes constantly. Your Deadeye, which is your aim, depletes constantly as you aim. So you have to make things, and you get food through various looting and robberies, and your little camp that you have makes food, and you can go hunting and stuff. When you cook it, you have to press a button not only to select what you're going to eat, but to cook it, you have to physically press the button long enough to cook it. You can hold it down to cook it faster, but it still has a circle of cooking that it has to go through. And then once it's cooked, you have to physically press a button to eat the food.
Each time, like each bite, or like
each bite.
That doesn't sound like a lot of fun, Jeff.
It's I don't want to say realism, but it takes you through the minutia of everything, which is in this huge world is insane. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of detail to take in at once, but I think the easiest way to represent it is to compare it to Witcher 3, which again, if you listen to the show, I was on that game for 10 months. And how that character eats in the game and loots in the game is you press X, 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 and you're eating, you're stealing all at once. It's all done. It just populates your inventory. This thing, you've got to search each drawer of a house, open the drawer. What's in there? You can take one item at a time, put it in your inventory. You can only store so much stuff in your little satchel. So it's very realistic. It's almost like that Fallout problem you have where you can't store everything. You can store 8 canned foods and then 2 guns and maybe a pelt. So it's very inventory, lots of inventory management. Only your horse can carry a little bit more, but then your horse gets weighed down and it has health.
Oh boy.
So your horse has health, and your horse has health is linked to almost the ride length that you can do. So if your horse is hungry, you have to feed it. And if it's dirty, it loses health more.
Wow.
Frequently, so you have to stop and brush it, which I don't know how improves its health, but it does. And then if you go over a rocky field that's not a path, that loses its health. So you can kind of see where there's a lot of micromanagement going on.
So how does that... So I don't want to detract from it. So your impression of that... So all that's coming on, you're fresh into this game. You're seeing inventory madness. You're seeing true to life, eating and everything else. How does that strike you? Does it feel, that's part of this world in this game, and I'm into it? Or I don't even want to say like it necessarily. It's more it feels of this game and fine. How's it striking you?
Yeah, it definitely goes within the world of the game. So the game is very alive. The towns are populated. Everybody's talking different lines all over the place. Nobody's repeating anything. They're all interacting with you. So if you're wearing something different, or even wearing a hat or not cleaning your clothes, they'll notice you and speak to you differently. So again, everything feels very alive. So all these actions kind of feels part of that. It's just not a game that you can kind of pop in, do 10 minutes and feel like you've completed something, because you haven't. Usually it would take you a couple hours to even do maybe a mission and maybe a little side quest, depending how far away those missions are, because that's another part of the game is riding to those missions and just kind of planning ahead on, what you need to bring with you. Again, all that detail is kind of in it. And if you are a fan of Red Dead Redemption 1, this kind of continues that. It just amps it up a little bit. So it's just a warning to people that think that they can go in and act like The Witcher and go around and kind of not worry too much about things, where this is not really like that. And there's no option to turn it off.
Okay, so this is, so it's not pew Western. This is really, a Western simulator, it kind of sounds like.
Yeah, almost like a survival game. You would never want to run into a bear into the forest. Again, it's something that's a bear. I could kill it with my gun. Oh my God, no, I can't.
Not likely.
It makes you afraid of forests, which I think is kind of neat for a game to do. It's you have to properly prepare to go into that forest and hunt that bear for the pelt or the meat or whatever. So, again, part of the world.
Well, give us a couple of tastes. Even if it's a mission, what's been one of your standout experiences so far? If it's completing a mission or some random bear situation.
Yeah, I will say The visuals in this game are off the hook. They're on another level. It's like God of War on an overworld. It's like it's insane detail. One of the missions that I've done is a train robbery, which is insane. It's amazing. It's like the steam locomotive, right? They're going, the steam's pumping in your face. You're swinging on the cars, and you're going through the cars, kind of like if you played Uncharted. It's almost like that within the game.
Wow.
And you're swinging from these cars. You have to shut off the train engine. You have to blow open like a vaulted car that has all the money in it and stuff. Just the sheer action sequence of it was like I was in a movie that was like reliving one of the climax of that movie, and then it would just kind of continue into the game, and your characters would react to whatever you did. You have lots of choice whether or not you're going to take hostages, tie them up, or just end them. So, and each one has like a little dialogue line with it. Yeah. Like some of your characters are like, yeah, you should have shot him, and the other guy's like, what you go and do that for? Like, so it's I don't know, it weighs on you a little bit, and it's just it's a well-crafted mission structure so far, and even the side quests don't feel like side quests. So I think that's almost the issue with the game, because everything feels like you should do it, like all the time.
And it's going to be just it feels like it'd be limitless. Like it sounds like it's like a game, take over your life, spend the next 2 years on it, not see everything still.
Yeah, could be. Easily.
So I think so. All right, don't mean to press you, but I want one more taste. Like, what's one more story, one more mission? Like, what's another like a notable situation you found yourself in this Western?
Okay, there's that's not really spoiler, but there's a snowy area, and you have to lead your carriage through this pathway, and then within the snow world, it kind of disrupts your carriage and your sight lines and things, and things go haywire. Let's put it that way. Things go haywire. You're kind of lost in this snowy wilderness. You're cold, which is reflected in the game again, and you find this little hut with your partner, this house that's just it's got a chimney, there's smoke going, there's obviously people in there, and you and your partner decide that we need to take this house. We basically need to, for the survival of our gang, we need to take the house. And just the story elements up to that point, the partner goes up to the house porch, and you can decide whether or not to make a distraction or kind of go up with them. And if you hang back, things go wrong in the conversation, and then there's a brawl and a gunfight, and things kind of escalate from there. And you end up taking the house, and then you're looking around at photos in the house that are of these people that you just took. And you're just kind of reflecting on that. Like, they didn't need to do that, but there's like, notes from like, I don't know, this Sunday afternoon that they had together, and these other things, mementos. I'm like, well, I didn't expect the game to kind of hit me like that, which is kind of like
it was only 2 days away from Cowboy retirement. Why?
Yeah. It's just kind of a neat thing to do. And again, it makes me feel more real, and that my choices really did matter. Like, would the game have progressed if I just not found that house and gone away, or, gone up with the guy and kind of made the conversation happen differently? But again, it's a neat little thing, and I hope to have more of those missions where it's not really like linear. You can kind of choose your own path, because I end up accidentally. One problem with this game is that the trigger button that they've associated with, I'm not used to that, and I end up shooting a lot of people. But I don't mean to. I mean to just I just need to aim my gun. I just need to aim my gun and and not have any trouble. Just have them know that who's boss. But it ends up blowing through their body. So
then I got an itchy trigger finger, and like a lot of people end up dead.
Yeah, like I've been robbing everybody, but a lot of people, failed at that, and they ended up at the bottom of the river. But
6 feet deep.
Yeah, that's right.
Strung up on the wrong side, partner.
Yeah, and there again, just a quick little thing. A lot of the missions as you're traveling too are organic as well. So things will pop out that you are not ready for or not prepared for, that the game will present. I saw one guy fix the hoof of his horse, and I'm riding by, and the horse kicked him and he died, because horses kick hard. Yes. And I feel bad for the guy, but It was just a random thing in the field that I wasn't necessarily going to be on, and I robbed him and went on my way.
I was going to say, but did you take the horse? That's
amazing. It was just a neat little thing. Again, a live world, but a world to take in. That's for sure for any dad that needs the time. But
so that aside, though, it sounds like this has been a good experience. This is a good game, living up to your expectations.
Oh, definitely. I think it absolutely is. It's something to experience. I think everybody maybe should have a taste of it. I don't think it's going to be everybody's cup of tea, but it's just the amount of work that went into this thing, as we've kind of heard through the reports as well, is a lot of people worked their butts off to get this out the door. And it shows that there's a lot in there that didn't need to be in there.
It didn't need to be. Man, what an awesome turnout, man. It's so great to want a game, to receive the game, and the game turns out amazing. So
yeah, and it's got 2 discs. 2. That's how big this thing is. 2 discs.
Jeez, how's that? Man, that's a throwback.
Play disc.
That's amazing.
I know. I'm like, hey, this is nostalgia. I wonder if it asked me for like disc 3.
Please insert disc 2.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. God.
You're at the end of this level. Please insert.
Oh, amazing. That's really happy to hear that. But I think with that, though, we will transition on to the Gaming Dad Victory of the Week. So each week we feature an exceptional gaming dad and often their kids who are doing fatherhood and gaming so well. This week's victory comes from gaming dad Jason Anthony, who captured the exact moment his little guy discovered that you can in fact die in some games. Jeff, why don't you walk us through the photo?
So it's this little boy sitting on the couch with a PS4 controller, headphones around his ears, kind of half off, shouting like, no. It looks like he's half no between his death in the game, which I believe is Fortnite. So just injecting that little reality into his life that you can die in games. And he just looks like he's finally experienced that.
Yeah, that intake of breath, like, oh,
no.
What happened?
What do you mean?
What do you mean I can't keep going?
Yeah.
What do you mean I lost?
It's a long road from here.
Yeah. Sorry, son. It only gets harder from here.
Yeah.
It's time we taught you some life lessons through games.
That's right. Yeah, well, especially in Fortnite, that you're going to be dying a lot if it's, well, maybe not. Maybe he's much better than me. He probably is.
Yeah.
I know I died a lot.
Yeah, like that's a very low bar for him to be better than you and I. But it just makes me want to introduce my kids to games and have a camera trained on them at all times.
Yes.
Because we've seen this a few times where it's just like it's so perfectly captured. And I think everybody who's gamed could see it and he knows exactly what happened. Right? You're looking at the face and you're like, I know what that feels like. I know what's going on. Yeah. And he captured it. He nailed it. And he's got that photo forever of this guy. Like that. So this kid will have, like, if he continues on in gaming, he can always look back and like, I remember this moment in Fortnite with my dad.
Yeah. Exactly. And even just this moment in time, just how small he is. Like the PS4 controller is as big as him.
And just massive headphones.
Yeah, it's just, it's a good shot. It's a good memory.
As his world is torn asunder.
Yeah. Don't take a picture of the game. Just take a picture of his reaction. We're good. He can retell it differently.
Yeah, it's like, this is after I won. I never lost. It was perfect.
Total. That's at the end of the game.
Total gaming pro.
That's right.
But again, the perfect shot. Now, Jason had an amazing selfless call out that here at New Dad Gaming we absolutely love. There is a Reddit called Santa's Little Helpers. This Reddit is about coming together and trying to help families who are maybe struggling for the Christmas season or just need a little bit of help put together a joyful season for their kids. So it's everybody just coming together and helping out. It is a fantastic cause, and if you are able to contribute a little bit, if you go to the Reddit called Santa's Little Helpers, it is a wonderful cause, and it's very amazing of Jason to have us call it out. So definitely go out and check it out and help if you can. But for introducing his son to the life and death struggles of video games, Jason has won the Gaming Dad Victory of the Week. Congratulations. If you have a story you'd like to feature for Gaming Dad Victory of the Week or know somebody else deserving, send it along to us on our Facebook group or at our website, newdadgaming.com.
And new dads, listen up as we go over this week's highlights and what happened in the world of gaming. So if you haven't heard by now, BlizzCon happened over the weekend where Blizzard announced the much anticipated Diablo 4. No, they didn't. That's what everyone was expecting. Instead, they announced Diablo Immortal, a mobile port of Diablo, much to the dismay of many of their core fan base, PC gamers. Things could have been different if Blizzard had even teased the slightest hint of Diablo 4. But now there's apparently sources saying that was actually supposed to happen, but it was changed just a few weeks ago. For now, fans will have to live with that mobile game and the company's non-committal statement of having multiple teams working on different Diablo projects. We'll see what Blizzard has to announce in the coming weeks. And parents have spoken out against dancing on the Switch. Just Dance 2019 was just released for Nintendo's platform, and for the most part runs a mix of free included songs and ones that require a subscription. Well, Ubisoft was kind enough to include a kid mode that allows only free kid-friendly songs, but seems like that mode has been messed up with including spam messages to subscribe and buy their songs, with kids being presented by menus to purchase with their mom or dad's credit card. Good on the parents for reporting, as Ubisoft is looking to rectify the issue as quick as a kid dabbing. And speaking of the Switch, rumor has it that YouTube will finally be making its way to the system this week. Seems that Nintendo slipped up on its website and listed the app to be available for download on November 8th. Fingers crossed this happens so that the console can finally be brought into 2018 and mirror its older cousin, the 3DS, who has this app and has had it for multiple years. All that's left is Netflix and a web browser of some sort to complete the package, and then you can take most of your online gaming on the go. And Tencent, one of the largest gaming investors and owners of blockbuster games like PUBG and League of Legends, will start checking the age ID of its Chinese players against police records. The company has responded to pressure from the Chinese government that too many hours of video games are making kids go nearsighted and flunk out of school. Tencent will take measures to ensure that its users 12 and under are only allowed an hour of playtime per day, where 13 to 18-year-olds get double that per day. Most recently, they've introduced technology that actually blurs the screen of their mobile games if underage users look at it too closely. Ultimately, Tencent hopes to have most of its properties restricted in China by 2019. And some quick news bites that might be interest to some gaming dads with PS4s out there. Rumor has it that PUBG will finally make an appearance on the system next month in December, so gather your frame drops and prepare to dive into that one. Also, the Path of Exile is moving from the Xbox and PC over to the PS4 by the end of the year, so if you're an action RPG fan, be prepared to be overwhelmed and start your character build sheet ASAP. As for game releases, some of this week's highlights include Grip Combat Racing for the PS4, Xbox, and PC, Moonlighter for the Switch, Jagged Alliance Rage for Xbox and PS4, The Forest for PS4 and PC, and Road Redemption, which is not confusing at all to a certain title that was just released. It's the PS4 and Switch, with Xbox coming soon. And the PS Plus freebies were also announced for November, which include Bulletstorm Full Clip, Yakuza Kiwami for PS4, and Jackbox Party Pack 2 and Arcando for the PS3, and if you still have a Vita out there, you can see Burlyman at Sea and Roundabout. That's it for the gaming news this week. Catch an app and tune in next week for another update.
Man, so the BlizzCon Diablo thing is definitely the thing to speak about, but real quick bites, like have your kids ever gotten into the Just Dance or any of the dancing games at all?
Yes. Oh, yes. So they do it in gym class at school.
With actual consoles?
No, they watch a YouTube video. They think they're playing.
That's dirty. So the teachers play a fake game, like video of the game.
It's one way to get around licensed music, I guess. I don't know.
It's like, and the kids all
so they think they're all doing perfect dance moves, but meanwhile it's somebody on YouTube that has mastered it and completing it.
And how does that like? They just seem so like that's so weird. It's the
same thing. They're still dancing along. They're still getting active. I guess that's I don't know.
It's not even. I'm not even. So forget the fact that it's not the system. Okay. Yeah. It's just more like so that the exercise we're going to give our kids is this dance game, as opposed to dodgeball, soccer, sprinting.
Well, it's with that as well, and this is their dance break.
That's like that silences me trying to process. That feels weird.
Welcome.
Man.
Yep.
It's not like dance is weird. Kids shouldn't do it. Like it's great coordination. It's a lot of fun. Like fine, but just I guess I'm trying to put myself back when I was like a kid, and they brought me in and put up a YouTube video of a dance game, and I'm sitting there like dabbing and like sliding along. I'm glad we don't have video, so no one could see the dance moves I just did.
I remember being in gym class and they would teach us dancing, like square dancing and line dancing and stuff.
Really? I didn't get that.
And it wasn't the greatest experience. So if I had a YouTube video of something that's a little bit more modern, sure, why not? I'm up for it. Just lesser two evils there.
Man, well, I mean, gaming dads, like, write in and let us know. What's something we haven't? No, not your personal dance thing, but I'll say like from the we hear a lot of Overwatch, No Man's Sky, Fortnite, as far as like gaming experiences. Like we haven't seen a lot of dads espousing the dancing part of it. So I'd be curious to hear if like gaming dads have experienced this or are big proponents or against it. But yeah, anyways. All right, so the Diablo Immortal.
Yeah.
It's like,
Did you watch that?
I didn't. So I didn't watch the announcement. I didn't have a lot of stake in it.
Right.
You remember that I bought Diablo 3, appreciated it, never beat it.
I've never beaten it either. Yeah.
And it's just one of those. It honestly felt like a MOBA to me in the sense that I had good friends who were gamers, and they were there. There's seasons, I think.
Yes.
There's this whole there's these layers and levels that I just was so far beyond understanding, but they were knee deep in. They loved it. They were there every season. It was great. So I could appreciate it. But it was a reminder of how far removed I am from gaming. Sometimes it feels like there's a whole wave of like online MOBAs and like this type of thing where it's like, what's a season? Like where's the princess that I save? I don't know.
I get you. Yeah.
But anyways,
you kind of got a taste of it with Hearthstone. At least that had like ranking. I don't know.
That's like you versus me. And if I win, I get points. Like it's very like, but this is like I don't even know how the seasons work. Like, do you lose gear and then you have to start fresh? Or is it like you keep your gear, but this season there's new stuff? Anyways, I'm not knocking. I'm just saying like it was always a reminder of, I'm so confused with modern gaming sometimes, despite my love of it. Yeah. Anyways, but it was a amazing game. It was an excellent game, and to watch the replays of particular parts, the guy who asked if it was an April Fool's joke, the guy that demanded if some of these features that they've been asking for that are showing up on this mobile game would come back to desktop. No, it wouldn't. No. Like that was so deflating. Like it was so tone deaf. It's amazing that they thought that was going to go over well. It's like these people you have, and the comment, especially the comment which is insulting, was like it's like don't you guys have phones? Like
that to me was like you said, tone deaf. Like you can't you can't try to get people to buy your game by like insulting them, but they're legitimately coming to you with a criticism, and you're just like, no, we made this. Why don't you love it? You love us unconditionally. Why don't you speak up and just buy it? Don't worry about it. Which to me, like, they've made some missteps over the years for sure. I remember the auction house when that launched in Diablo 3, and there was a huge backlash, and they got rid of it, and then it came back in some other way or something, I don't know. But now I just see you have in-app purchases now for Diablo. Yeah. There will be a mobile style, you died, buy potions to revive yourself.
So that's like, if anything, it's sad enough that like instead of a true title, they release that. Okay. Like, it depends on your kind of commitment to that series. Fine. Because let me pitch it this way. Imagine the entirety of Diablo 3. All the depth, all the fun, all the crazy customization, the seasons. Imagine that entire game encapsulated in your phone on the go, and you can pay $20 and you have it. Like
that's the Switch, right? They just released it there.
Right. I'm just thanks, Jeff. Come on, work with me.
Bam!
We're gonna get there.
Bam!
You
need a Switch. That's what you need, honey.
I just think if that was the actual proposition,
yes,
I think people could look at that and say, okay, that's kind of cool. That's interesting, right? Like
yes.
I can take a full, complete Diablo experience on the go. That's fantastic. That's actually really great. But so here's the problem with it's the reality of our current situation, and it's cynical, but it's the truth. That is not how that game is going to be.
No, absolutely not.
That game is going to be microtransactioned through the damn teeth, and like everybody knows it. And that's like, I don't know if it's kind of a turning point, because for the longest time, I think these companies maybe think they can get away with it.
Yeah,
where it's like, we'll just microtransaction them to death. And
look at EA, right? Battlefront 2. That's it. That's the path I see them going on, and just not checking themselves to make sure that, hey, this is what our base kind of wants. This is what we've always done, and now they're pushing it a little too far. And I think they hit the sweet spot almost with Overwatch and that kind of loot box system. Even that kind of gets annoying even to me, and I'm not much of an Overwatch player, but it doesn't seem like people were upset with them implementing that kind of system there. And then you've done something to Diablo. It's like, what's the next property to go? They announced Warcraft 3 Reforged, which Warcraft 3 was my jam back in the day.
Yeah.
If they put in transactions there or some other system that wasn't in the original, like is that the nail in the coffin? They're just going for money now. And it used to be all about the game and the gamers and making this product that was full and complete and really in depth and really, not complex, but something that was very detailed. And I don't know.
And already, we saw it with, I think there's now a full Command and Conquer coming out. But
oh God, don't mention that one.
But I think there's a new, if I understand it, I understood there's a full-fledged, almost remaster of the Command and Conquer coming out.
There is an iPad one that's called Rivals. I think it's called Rivals. That is totally...
but they released a different one, and that one fell flat. It was a dead fish because it was microtransaction garbage.
Yeah.
So it's funny because there's precedent, Battlefront 2, Command and Conquer. This has happened before. Guys, you keep trying it, and there's only so much you can do. Eventually... you're going to just piss people off, which, again, per this reaction, the YouTube video, the YouTube reaction to it was a riot because they had the announcement trailer and the official trailer for the game got downvoted to heck. Right. So they took it down.
They took it down and re-uploaded it again.
They changed Blizzard had their icon changed to Immortal, the new Diablo Immortal. They changed it back to Diablo 3. So it's being impacted. They're hearing the uproar.
Do you think they won't release it? Do you think there's a chance? Maybe, because a lot of speculation is that it's for the Chinese market where there's over 300 million mobile gamers, and they want to hit that market with something. Maybe keep it there and not deliver it to the West. I don't know. It doesn't seem like they can put the brakes on it completely. But if you're already shying away from it...
I'm curious how much they actually put into it, because it's a separate company that built it. A separate company...
a Chinese company.
Yeah, and more than that, too, is that there's a lot of analysis going online where they were comparing it to previous company. This company that built it is famous for building Diablo clones.
Yes.
And they were comparing screen to screen. It's they did not change a lot from the Diablo clones they made. The UI looks the same.
They just got the assets to put over top, and now you just skinned the game that you were trying to copy in the first place and add the story.
Those things are it's almost, and again, as far as tone deaf is just that. There's some part of me that really hopes that it was kind of a last ditch effort because they couldn't talk about Diablo 4. Because
hopefully,
BlizzCon is an event that people pay for, a lot of money, to go to this event and get hyped and hear this news.
Yeah.
And then this was it. Like if this was like, in another month they announce it. It's like, oh, but we are launching on mobile with this.
That's okay, fine, right? Again, it wasn't at this event. Yeah, this event, like you said, is a very, very professional event, and a lot of people look up to it as the new tidbit of information. And people have been asking for Diablo 4 for a while.
Yeah, it's at a fever pitch, right? And then this mobile thing, this microtransaction, ridiculous mobile. That, honestly, again, if it was just a full Diablo game on mobile, neat. But it's not.
Yeah, that's a good word. Neat.
Cool.
Great. Next.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like I was kind of excited because I purchased, per your recommendation, I'd purchased Baldur's Gate on mobile.
Oh right, yeah.
Where it's just like this is an entire game. Like this is crazy. Yes. Like and I just take it everywhere. But I don't know. I think it's sad, man. It's the new world, right? I think the problem too is if it comes out and it makes bank, like it just makes tons of money.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're dinosaurs, I guess. Like it's just like
that's it. Yeah.
Our type of gamers are on the way out. We're gonna have tiny little games that we can buy. We'll trade old floppy disks with Doom on it. So I remember the old good day.
We have to make an underground market for this stuff. We'll trade at night. Trade floppy disks back
only
and forth.
At night, to be safe. But I don't know. I don't wish for anything to fail necessarily, but there's some party that just hopes to set precedent so companies are smarter about what they put out, that this product doesn't do well. Because if this does amazingly well, just whatever title you can think of, they're going to bring it back. It's going to be less of a game. It's going to be microtransactioned.
Let's hope it does fail. I know you didn't want to say it, but I really think it does need to fail.
Jeff, how dare you?
It won't. People will look at it and be like, hey, it's a Diablo game. Pay. Oh, this sucks. And it's already paid. It's already done.
It's going to be we're going to keep our eye on it because that is like, it's going to be, the reaction to this is fascinating. I think this is a real honest to God turning point for how this type of things goes. If it kind of falls flat, like Battlefront, I think was a great example where
it was a great example. Yeah, they got caught with
they were greedy.
Their hands
it was
full.
Ridiculous, and we point to that now as an example. They felt that one.
Yep.
Is this Blizzard's comeuppance? I don't know.
I don't know. They're a big company. We'll leave on a high note.
Yeah. Man, it sure makes Red Dead Redemption look amazing. Actually, we didn't even cover that. Is there microtransactions there?
No, but there will be an online version, I'm sure, that has all sorts of, I think the GTA has shark cards. They'll have something different. Gold bars, but I mean, currently, or something.
But you got a full game.
Full game, and it's very full, so there's nothing in there that I can buy. There's no outfits that I can buy yet that I know.
Yellow
there's
caps.
No store to be seen.
Hey,
yay!
Well, that's a win. Hey, us dinosaurs got to win. We did it. Now, with that news, we will end it off. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming, and I forgot to paste the ending. Ding 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 ding. A second.
Ding 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 ding.
Ding 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 ding. Thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you'd like to reach out to us with a question, a game tip, dad story, or Gaming Dad Victory submission, you can go to our website at newdadgaming.com, find us on Twitter, or join the Facebook group. If you'd like to subscribe to the podcast, you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and any of the other podcasting services. If you like the show, we would really appreciate a like, a review, or a share as we're trying to get out there and reach as many gaming dads as we can. Got to stick together, dinosaurs. For that. How do we get our Cowboy games otherwise?
That's right.
Until next time, my name is Trevor, and I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old. You do that so well.
Yeah, I've been practicing. Yeah. I can't play the game, so I just do a whistle from time to time and dream.
That works until you can.
One day. One day I'll go on dad's sale. Don't worry about that. See you next week.
See ya. Howdy.